Lovely. 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 Lovely.
My pet's a little bit, this is a new pet, so I'm leveling this pet up, so currently the pet's only level 45. Doesn't have the best threat currently. Just trying to get this pet up.
Lovely. 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 Lovely.
Man, that combat's beginning quickly.
Lovely.
Ah, Coca-Cola. I think if someone does post for ZF, we'll do it just because it'll probably be enough XP to get us to 49. Actually, you're gonna have to start doing Searing Gorge soon, which is a good zone. Mouse into level. Oh, see, bite rank. What is my bite currently? Oops. I'm on bite rank 5. That seems kind of low. Let's take a look here. Bite rank 6 is level, oh shit, level 40, 41. So we definitely, I'm surprised I don't know bite rank 6 already. We can get that off of Inferalis. And then bite rank 7 is going to be off the hinterlands. And we're actually almost, so we could probably skip. We'll just skip bite rank 6 and go right to 7. Once we hit level 49, we can get that in the hinterlands.
Lovely. Lovely.
Yeah, so I posted a video talking about Rested XP. I kind of had put it on Cargos's Discord, but no shade on Cargos. I actually am a big fan of Cargos, and you know, I have no problem with Cargos at all. I think he's been a great benefit to the community. I just kind of had given my opinion saying that I'm not really a fan of Rested XP, and I kind of talked about why I say that. But outside of that, that's all. And I did like a live stream earlier where I just kind of discussed it, and not a big deal really. But I just thought it was interesting because I saw him streaming where someone had made a comment, kind of really throwing shade at him, saying a lot of bad things about him because of Rested XP. I don't really have anything bad to say about Cargos because of Rested XP. Because I think that, and I explain it in the video, so I'm not going to explain it here, but you'll just have to watch that stream. But it was just funny because I had posted on his Discord, then I took it out. I was like, I don't want to piss him off. I don't want him to think that I was trying to say something negative against him because I wasn't at all, actually. Yeah, I'm a big. I think Cargos has done a great thing, done a great service to the community of vanilla. You know, he's always been putting out lots of content. And he's always been encouraging of events and different things to keep people playing this version of the game, which is my favorite version of the game. So that's great. You know, it's all good things. All good things. Oh, did we put... I did get invited to some Hunter Discords. Let's see, announcements. Due to popular demand, I've made a not safe for work after party channel. Whatever. Kids in there can't keep their dicks in their pants. Yeah, I actually got invited to a couple of new Discord servers. One called Classic Hunter Lodge, which I wasn't really that familiar with it, but that's kind of interesting. So... let's see if there's a vanilla. I don't really see any like streams. Oh, here there's. Yeah, they have guilds, streams, and videos. They got Kata, SOD, Kata streams, SOD. Where's the classic streams? There's no classic streams. There's no vanilla. That's kind of weird. I don't see any vanilla streams on here. Maybe I didn't set all my roles correctly. Set your roles. Here, this is the Hunter's Lodge, which I had never heard of before. I am Alliance. Let's see, I prefer my pet. I PvP often. I prefer my pet doing all the work. I bring Erebos. I'm not gonna. None of those really apply to me, to be honest. I'm a night elf. I don't want SOD. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see the section for Cataclysm, Vanilla General. I don't see a. You know what? I'll post it in Vanilla PV and say I don't see. Kata, SOD. I don't see a vanilla streamer section. We'll just post that. And then we're going to go to this other channel, which is Veramos Hunter Hangout, and not familiar with this person either. And I don't really see anything in here either regarding stream schedule. I don't like to post stream links in channels that aren't for streams, so. Let's see if we can get a ZF group going, or looking for group ZF.
Lovely.
So we got one person looking for group ZF. We'll just hold off and see if somebody starts one. Alright, we still need some enforcers and of course the main dude. Look at the size of that guy's sword. You see that? That guy's sword is massive. That ogre's sword is huge. I can't get through here. Can I get through here? Yeah. We still not up. Bummer. Let's take both these guys down. One at a time. Yeah, I hope Cargos doesn't take that live stream in a bad way. So I wasn't going to post it on his channel, but Someone kind of talked me into it, so but I don't think he will. So, let's see. People clap. It's kind of funny, like playing melee hunter. Sometimes it almost takes me back to the days of playing protection paladin because you do, like, you don't have to like. I mean, to maximize your damage, you're gonna be probably spamming wing clip a little bit, especially when you get two weapons with Crusader, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to proc. You know, you want to proc Crusader, so you will spam it a little bit if you have just lots of mana to burn. But it does sometimes you can just sit back and just auto attack. I can basically drop my immolation trap here and just let my pet kind of do the work while I auto attack. Of course, my trap's doing massive damage here. You can see every tick of my trap's doing 130, 135, 136 damage. But pretty chill leveling experience. And one of my favorite things, let me turn the music down. One of my favorite things about Melee Hunter is that there's a lot of variety and there's a lot of survivability. You actually, because you are melee, because you are going to go somewhat into survival, and because you do have deterrence, because of the way I build melee, which is I actually go 5 out of 5 deflection. A lot of people will only go maybe 3 or 2 or maybe nothing at all. I go 5 out of 5. Same thing with Beastmaster. I go 5 out of 5 on Monkey. So I make my character quite a bit. I have a lot of mitigation or evasion basically. So. Not everybody builds their melee, but that's the way I like to do it, because I like it so that I have more survivability. I also like it when I'm in like LBRS, UBRS, Skolo. When the shit hits the fan, I have a lot more ability to off tank for a little bit without dying. You know what I mean? So. This guy hits.
Lovely.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
He was actually parried or blocked several of my attacks there. Pretty interesting. Let's.
Carwin, just please call me.
My wife needs me, so quick break here. She needs me to grab something. Just let me find a good place to log out. Quick AFK break for just a couple minutes. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, hopefully we'll get a ZF group here pretty soon. The Embrace the Lycan would still be an upgrade for me. I just haven't seen it drop on my hunter. I was trying it to drop once, and I lost the roll. I lost the roll. Alright, what do we need here? Warlocks? Oh, actually, we do need this guy, don't we?
Lovely. 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 Lovely.
We need 2 of these guys. Should we just take out these 2 at once? Why not? Why not? Well, maybe it wasn't a good idea. These guys don't die super fast. They have a lot of health.
Lovely. 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 Lovely.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Lovely.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Lovely. 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 Lovely.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Lovely. 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 Lovely.
Oh my god, I was muted. I'm so sorry. Let's start over. I was muted because I had actually just taken a break. Yeah, so I'm using Bartender. Sorry about that. I'm using Bartender 4. Thank you, Volst. Using Bartender 4. Yeah, so you can see here Bartender 4. You just have to make sure that when you go to the Blizzard art bar here that you select, one action bar only. and it'll kind of shrink it down. And then, you know, I move some stuff around. I changed some of the opacity, like the micro menu in the back bar here. You can see that they're you know, faded out. Visibility here, fade out alpha like is down to 0, so they're not going to show up unless I hover over. And then some other things like these bars over here on the right, you can see them, but they're more, you know, more faded out. The opacity's like, I don't know, it's probably like, what is it? These are bars, what, 4 and 3? You know, let's see, you can see the visibility is at 30%. So they're pretty faded. And then the pet bar also is fairly faded. It's down here. So like I said, these don't, you know, when I hover over these, they show up a lot more. And the same thing down here, like these guys show up if I hover over. I mean, you don't really ever need to hover over. The only time you'd ever want to hover over a bag is if you're just dragging a bag out or moving a bag in or something and changing bag sizes. Other than that, you're just going to hit the B key and bring up your bags, right? But I do use move any, which allows me to move anything, so which is really useful. You know, I can move any window, which is cool. You know, recount, classic threat meter. I use a lot of add-ons, a lot more than I used to be honest. You know, scrap for automatic selling of junk, auctionator, bartender, chat copy paste. Obviously, nothing big. I use class icons there. That's really cool. So basically, it's good for PvP purposes. Like if someone's way far away and I target them, it'll show what class they are. Like if, for example, if this gnarled thistle rub was a hunter or something, and I selected him, you would see the hunter icon. So if I'm like really far away, sometimes it's nice to see what class they are for because I'm going to go into a PvP scenario a lot differently if it's like a warlock versus like a warrior, you know. But I use a lot of add-ons. You know, extended character stats, which is really cool. Gather mate, you know, just gathering. Greenwall's the guild thing. ID tip, just allows me to see the spell IDs, icon IDs of the spells. Item rack allows me to change up my sets, which I use, of course. I have a dual wield set and I have a two-hand set. Although currently I don't really have a two-hand set because I don't have a two-hand weapon. I'm pretty much exclusively, you know, dual wielding. We can update some of these things if we want, just so they're up to date. And the rest of these things I think are all up to date. Yeah, we just don't have a two-hand weapon. But I can easily swap between those two sets just by Control 4, Control 3. You know. And I've got this spy thing, which I rarely use. It's kind of useful sometimes, but not. I don't do a lot of PvP, mostly because I'm a melee hunter. Melee hunters aren't that great at PvP, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll kill people. It just depends. Depends on what's going on. Depends on if they piss me off or not. And I like to call this the hybrid melee hunter because I do allow the use of stings. So like the only non-melee abilities I'm going to be using are traps, obviously, and sting. So serpent sting, viper sting, scorpid sting. But I mean, to be honest, I rarely use anything but serpent sting. You know what I mean? You accidentally killed? Yeah. I rarely use anything but serpent sting. But if you look at my damage, it's going to be like mostly, you know, melee's 50% of my damage. Immolation trap plus immolation trap dot. Which should be in here somewhere. There's explosive trap dot. Immolation trap does 15.6% of my damage, so it does a lot. Raptor strike again, melee. Serpent sting, see, serpent sting comes in at 12.4%. So serpent sting does a very significant amount of damage. And I always liken it to the retail version of the survival hunter's poison dart. You know, I don't know what happened to this party window. It got all screwy. Hello?
Lovely.
I figure you're working... Oh, you in the same area? Yeah.
Lovely.
This will be interesting to compare my DPS versus a ranged hunter here. So, yeah, thanks. Actually, my pet's not done eating, but oh well. No, this is just standard. This is not hardcore. The Deviate Delight is is not, you know, it's not a hardcore server. His pet got threat. There we go. Okay, we got the dew gland. Well, yeah, because this whole Deviate server, it was all about PvE. It was all, you know, it was all about, I mean, there's PvP obviously, but it's all about like getting to max level, doing, you know, raids and stuff. So, yeah, this is not a hardcore thing. This is more about, you know, getting to max level and doing some, hopefully doing some raid content. Where'd that hunter go? He's over here. Sungrass, nice. Alright, so... yeah, see, he's doing more damage than me, because in these kind of fights, like, you know, where it's ranged, you know, he can just sit back and do a lot. He's doing a lot of damage before I get into combat, unless I'm the one doing the pulling. Where the melee hunter shines more is a little bit more in group content, because of your traps. In individual single target, you still do decent damage, actually, with emo trap, but you got to get emo trap up. And you got to get the trap up. And of course, a lot of it's just gearing. You know, I still not set up with the appropriate gear yet. It's all about the flurry axes, man. Once you get the dual flurry, you're gonna really start proccing double crusader, which is really gonna give you a huge increased damage. So, actually, we don't need this one.
Lovely.
Okay, so let's see. We need a few more. We need this guy. And now we need this guy. And I think that's it. Yeah. He still needs 5 of these guys, alright. Didn't get the trap up on him. Yeah, I've done a lot of hardcore, that's for sure. I've leveled a lot of characters to 60 in hardcore, but yeah, I wasn't going to do it this time. Mostly because the people that are doing the Deviate to Light Fresh really aren't doing hardcore stuff, you know, this is more of a, like I said, just get to 60, do the content. I wonder if the turtle, let's see if we can spot the turtle around here. The quest, the turtle quest. He still needs this guy. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I like the vagrant mode. That's pretty cool. Turtle Well's got a lot of cool stuff, and honestly, oh, I guess he still needs that one. And honestly, like I said, if Blizzard continues to make changes to Classic Era, I will move away from Classic Era. Like I said, if Turtle Well comes out next year, and their integration into UE5 is good, which I have a lot of doubts, to be honest, about that. Not because I doubt their abilities, but just because I've never seen anybody integrate the Turtle Well code into another game engine. So this will be like the first time I've seen that. People have done emulators or different types of projects but they were built more specifically for WoW. This, Unreal Engine really wasn't built for WoW. And so it'll be interesting. As a programmer myself, I would love to know more about how they're actually getting the code, and how they're doing the hooks that are going to hook from the Unreal Engine into the actual WoW code, so that they can, call like the walk animation or whatever. How's that going to work? I've never done any of the coding for the WoW engine itself, so I don't know. So like I said, I have my doubts that it'll be good. But of course, we all want it to be good. Of course, we want it to be good. And if it is good, what I was kind of saying is, if it is good, if UE5, if they put it into, if they put it in there and it works really well and the engine is smooth, the most important that it's smooth, no lag, then if they can pull that off, then I'll be in there playing it. I will 100% be playing that. In fact, that might be the day I quit playing any version of Blizzard's WoW. I might, cancel all my subs and just be done. Because I love Turtle WoW. As a project, Turtle WoW is the best Classic Plus server there is. It just is. Now Epoch was looking like it could take that over, because they've got some really cool stuff, but we don't know. I played some of Epoch, but it's riddled with so many bugs. And there's so many bugs in Epoch, so I don't know how long it's going to take them to get all that stuff worked out. So it'll be interesting. But as far as the private servers, like Epoch and Turtle WoW, I think are the most interesting Classic Plus ones. Yeah, they said in the video that it was at the bottom, the subtext, that the enhanced high definition models weren't displayed in that trailer, but that they would be in the the final release. Yeah, Epoch was definitely ambitious. Yeah, I don't know anything about Epoch. I don't know how many programmers they have. I don't know how big their team is. I just know that they worked on it for a long time. Like, we're talking like 3 years. So when it takes you 3 years to put something out, that's not necessarily a good thing. Because what happens when if it takes you 3 years to put it out, how long is it going to take you to fix issues? And how long is it going to take you to add content? Like, Turtle Well is actually pretty good at adding content. I don't know how big their team is, but they're pretty quick to do stuff. But as far as you say that Epoch was the most ambitious, I would agree with you until now. I think that putting WoW in Unreal Engine 5 has to be the most ambitious, because it's a completely different engine, So there's a lot more. It's not like I don't know. We'll see. I think the Unreal Engine 5 has got to. I don't know. I wish I knew how they were going to do the hooks. I need to reach out to those guys, and maybe I can do an interview or something, because I would really like to know how they're doing that. I also think it was really funny. If you watch, there was I think it was what's that streamer who does WoW content for years? He looks like a Viking. What's his name? I can't believe I can't remember his name. Let's see. Yeah, Nixium. Thank you. Yes, you knew who I meant. I think Nixium said in his video, right?
What your favorite World of Warcraft?
I think, and I'm not a big fan of Nixium. Not that I like him. I think he seems like a really nice guy. The only problem I have with Nixium is he felt like he was a little bit too much of a fanboy of WoW. And what I mean by that is he was a little bit too lenient on Blizzard as a company. I felt like on retail versions of the game, I felt like he was a little bit too making his videos positive just to get views. And that was the only complaint I had about him. Yeah, I don't want to say dependent. But I felt like he was, because there's a lot of streamers that what they do is they'll try to say things that are maybe like negatives about maybe an expansion or something, but they'll try to portray it in a very good way. Oh yeah, this is maybe not the best way to do this, but this, you know what I mean? They will try to be like not too critical because they're worried of losing, you know, subscribers or views, or you know what I mean? And I felt like he maybe was kind of going down that path a little bit of being a little bit too friendly and being a little bit too nice on it, because I felt like there were things that Blizzard did that were really bad that he should have been a little bit more critical of them. So, yeah, exactly, and that was my complaint with him. But he does seem like, I don't know the guy personally, but he does seem like he would be he seems like a pretty nice guy. You know, I do enjoy some of his videos, but that's all. You know, that's all. But I think he said in this video here. And I kind of forgot what we were talking about. Yeah, Asmon. Well, the problem I have with Asmongold is Asmon will say one thing, and then a year later he'll contradict himself. My only problem with Asmongold is he contradicts himself. You know that, and he's a good player, but he's not a great player. He like tries, you know, he tries to come off as like he doesn't. Whatever. He's not like the best player in World of Warcraft. You know. But, you know, Asmongold, he's okay. I don't really have too many negative things other than, you know, clean your damn room, Asmongold. That's disgusting.
Alrighty then.
But, yeah, but the reason we went down the path to Nixium is he said something in this video about how Blizzard was screwing up Era, and I can't remember what he said, but we were just talking about it, and I kind of forgot I hadn't lost my train of thought. Yeah, I heard about that. Hold on a second. My wife's texting me. If you guys don't know, my wife has major physical health problems. So when she texts me, I have to answer because sometimes I might have to take her to the hospital or something. So when she texts me, I have to answer.
Thank you so much.
What is this?
Thank you for being so dumb. Thank you so much.
Okay, she sent me this video of a cat like licking someone's hand and saying thank you so much, and then he starts biting the hand and it says thank you for being so dumb. Yeah, we were talking about he had a cockroach jump on him on stream. No, not COVID. She has POTS disease and she has cardiovascular disease, so she's got a couple of really bad things. But anyways, yeah, he was talking about how Blizzard had messed up Classic, and I can't remember, I lost my train of thought, but I think, and I'm not going to be able to remember what we were talking about, but one of the things that he did say was that, you know, once Blizzard, you know, opens up the door and they start making changes, now I remember what I was going to say, is I think it might have been on this stream where he said, in a day and age where Turtle WoW releases a trailer talking about putting, you know, WoW in Unreal Engine 5, Blizzard does this. You know what I mean? And it might not have been Nixium that said that, but somebody who did, it could have been Azimuth, but somebody who did a video talking about the changes being a bad thing also mentioned that the Turtle WoW trailer came out on almost exactly the same day. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was this video. It might have been. You know? It's like, you know, think about it. Like, and I talked about it before. I even did a video reacting to the Turtle WoW, you know, trailer, where I had said many times previously that you know, Blizzard needs, you know, one thing what I've always said is a big easy win for Blizzard. Easy win for Blizzard. This is an easy win. Take the vanilla version of the game as it was and just do a new game engine with much better graphics, you know, with a better interface, but the exact same game, and just put it in there in that engine, you know, basically like a reskin almost. And I said that's an easy win for Blizzard. If Blizzard were to take World of Warcraft, and you don't have to look far, just do like, you know, do World of Warcraft in Unreal Engine 5, right? And actually, I don't think I've watched this one. I don't think I've watched this one. Kind of cool. I think for the fields he made them too hilly though. And they're too consistent, not enough variation. And also I think the mountains. I mean, I could really critique this because I'm a big visual person, but Westfall. I like the little. Yeah, I haven't seen this video. Actually, I've never watched this one. I'm not a fan of the god rays there. They don't make sense. Lighting's off. Shadows are off. Yeah, not the best one I've seen for Unreal Engine 5. Obviously, much too bright. The fields of wheat here. Yeah, just not the best example of this. There was one that someone did. Let's see. WoW 2. And this is another thing I've talked about is Blizzard should do a WoW 2. I've always said Blizzard should do a WoW 2. And what I would do with World of Warcraft 2 is I would go back in time, like way back. Like, just go way back in time so far that there isn't a whole lot of lore. Or there is lore, but it's very basic, you know what I mean? Ogrimmar remake map test in UE5. Let's take a look at this one. Now, so here's a pretty decent example. Now, this is Unreal Engine 5. Let's make sure this is, yeah. I have seen this one before. Now, I would say this actually looks pretty good. This reminds me a lot of Black Desert. There's some zones in Black Desert that look like this. I like this a lot. I like the scale of the tower. It feels a lot more authentic and it feels a lot more massive. Notice here how the mountains he's done look a lot better because these are so much further away, so they're a lot lower. And notice the color palette is really, really good. He's done a great job of making the color palette. It should be fairly similar. Your color palette's not going to have more than like 5 or 6 core colors. You can see the beiges and the slate colors here, mixed in with a little bit of this kind of reddish color that they have for the roofs. And then, of course, the flags has the horde red. So, the color palette here is really, really good. The shadows, see the shadows, they look fantastic. Under the rocks, you got the shadows on the grass here. It's pretty good. The variation in the terrain is pretty good. It looks more realistic. Like this is kind of like what the Barrens would look like. You can see here, there's these rocks here, but the natural progression of people's feet and wagons and vehicles that have kind of moved through this road leading to Orgrimmar would kind of cleared away the rocks and kind of created this dirt path, which is just, again, very natural looking. And I love the rocky cliffs. These are fantastic on the right side here. These are great. I love the trees on top, how they're sparse, because there wouldn't be a lot of trees because of the stone type. And because this is a very kind of barren area. There's obviously not a lot of rain in this zone. Again, really, really good. Really good. This guy knows what he's doing. So this is very, very well done. So this is done. Yeah, so he did a good job. But anyways, yeah, I mean, this is something that I've said before, that if Blizzard could do something like just a reskin like this, you don't have to change the game. Make the game the same. The same game. It's like all the quests could be the same. Everything could be the same. You just basically are creating a world that looks like this, that looks better, that's more modern. And then, of course, the combat would, add better stagger effects, add more impactful sounds, do we have it?
Same way that the old Republic works, Rift.
So you add more impactful combat like what you'd see in Terra, right? Check this out.
Dungeon PvE encounters were bad. Warcraft, you have Terra. Wait, let me find that rogue melee clip again because I want to put these side by side.
Here's World of Warcraft combat.
Wet fish.
Wet fish. Here's Terra combat. Boom.
Ow.
Warcraft.
You need to comment on that. So yeah, this is what it looks like when instead of a
So what I'm saying is that's another thing you could do to WoW. So you could reskin it, but you could also, make the combat sounds more impactful. You're not going to change the combat. Like I still would have the same type of abilities, but just put in some better stagger animations, put in some better sound effects. Something that Blizzard's actually done a little bit in later versions of World of Warcraft. I can't remember which version it was, if it was Shadowlands, where they kind of redid a lot of the animations, but. Well, I'm not saying put in action combat, Voss. What I'm saying is just add better sound effects. If you look at, I can't remember which version of WoW it was, where they changed a lot of these swinging animations of like rogue, and like for example when a paladin threw his hammer, I mean he literally like threw through the air and bounced off multiple targets. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying make it action. I'm not saying change how combat works. I'm just saying make the animations better and make the sound effects better, so that because really. What makes combat feel impactful really is stagger animations. You can see a lot of MMOs where if you swing and hit an enemy with a sword, the enemy doesn't do anything. He just keeps swinging at you. There's no, he's not knocked backwards. He's not staggered. He doesn't groan in pain. There's no blood splatter. You know what I mean? You don't even maybe see where the sword hit him. And that's a huge deal for combat. You've got to convey that stuff. And that's where something like Terra is really, really good at conveying that impact, And some games are good at it. Blizzard isn't great at it. I think there are stagger animations, but I'm just saying that's something that you could, give us decapitations. I'm just that's something they could do. So take World of Warcraft, reskin it, make it, put it in a more modern game engine, and just maybe make the animations a little bit better looking and more impactful. And to me, that's an easy win for Blizzard. You put that out with the same polish that Blizzard has for like classic WoW, everybody's going to play it. Who wouldn't play that? I mean, who wouldn't play that? Anybody who's a classic Andy, they're going to play that. My God. Okay, we got some serious lag. Wow. I don't know what that was all about, that lag. All right. Level, 49? Level 49. Only 11 more levels to go. That whole time I was talking, I was actually in a group. Did you see that? I was in a group. Oh, it was just this guy. Never mind. I was thinking of something else. Well, they don't. I think the problem is they're so wrapped. They're like a machine that's so bogged down with all the different individual parts. They're having a hard time decoupling everything. It's like we have all these pieces doing all these things, and it's too hard to bring the gear, to slow the gears down or to stop them. Everything's in motion, you know what I mean? But they need to really, I don't know. They don't need to do anything. I think Blizzard's arrogant. One thing when I look at Blizzard, I just feel like they're extremely arrogant. I feel like they think they can just do whatever they want. And I think that was really clear with how all those years they didn't want to put out, World of Warcraft. They didn't want to put out World of Warcraft Classic. They just no one wants that. We don't care what you guys say. You're a minority, blah, 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 blah. Then finally they realized that they were wrong. All right?
Keep it real.
Ooh, Earth Root. Yes. Nice. I got this recipe earlier today. Where is it? It's a really low-level thing, but it's just cool. How long does it last? It only lasts 2 minutes, though, which kind of sucks. That kind of sucks. It, totally sucks.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I think a lot of the people, the good people, left Blizzard. Obviously, a lot of people that are working on these projects now are kids right out of school and stuff, and they don't have any power. It's not like they're going to tell Blizzard what to do. I think one of the things that has affected Blizzard has been the private server community. Do you think World of Warcraft? Do you think they ever would have created Season Discovery if it wasn't for the popularity of Ascension WoW? If it wasn't for the popularity of Turtle WoW, there would be no Season of Discovery. The only reason Season of Discovery exists is because of the popularity of certain private server projects, you know. And I think that's also what would drive Blizzard to want to do a reskin. If Turtle Wow comes out with WoW and Unreal Engine 5 and it's a huge hit, let's say it's a massive hit. And I think it would be if it works well. Let's say it's 20, 30, 40,000 people play it. Then, of course, Blizzard, I think, would want to do the same. I think they would want to come out with a reskin at that point. You know what I mean? So it's pretty interesting that the private server community has been one of the biggest things that's pushed Blizzard to actually do stuff. You know, to actually get off their ass. Interesting too that this stacks in stacks of 5. It's like only lasts for 2 minutes, only stacks up to 5. It's just kind of, you know, who came up with this shit? Let's make these only last 2 minutes and you can only stack them up to 5. It's just kind of weird, you know. I think we should go to Searing Gorge. Searing Gorge is a good place to hit at level 49. Oh, hey, Matt, how's it going? Yeah, sure.
Have a good one.
Yeah. I mean, I try to keep the most important things. You know, I'm a melee hunter, so I do mostly melee. But I try to keep the most important things visible. You know, like right here I've got, you know, like if I turn my pet growl off, you can see the weak aura disappears. If I turn it on, you can see here that growl is on. And then you can see what stance I'm currently in, you know, what aspect. So cheetah. If I put on monkey, you'll see monkey here. Now, the one bad thing with my weak aura that I haven't really ever fixed is if I get rid of monkey, it'll go back to hawk, but it really isn't aspect of the hawk. It's nothing. I need to fix that. So if I see aspect of the hawk glowing like that, it means I don't have an aspect applied. Because if I were to put up aspect of the hawk, it won't be glowing, right? So that's one thing I need to fix. But you know, this is a melee hunter, so I don't use aspect of the hawk. I'm pretty much sitting in monkey most of the time. Let's get out of the bright sunlight. Easier to see. And I'm using Bartender. So I'm also using an add-on called Move Any, which allows me to move all my windows. So yeah, Bartender, you want to go to the Blizzard art bar and you want to make sure you choose one action bar only, and that'll just give you the one bar here. And then different bars I kind of configure differently, like you can see. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, my wife's talking. Sorry about that, my wife. So, my wife was talking to me. No, the weak aura works good. I mean, it works for what I need it for. I just need to go in and change the. I mean, we could probably fix it, right? If we go into the weak aura and current aspect. Oh, I just screwed it up. I think I hope I didn't fuck that up. I think I just unchecked name. Here, hold on a second. Yeah, let's go over here. Trigger. So we're basically saying aura player buff, and we're saying the names of the different buffs. And we just don't have like a default case. So I'm not sure how the default case works on this. But I'm not really gonna. It's like I said, it works the way I need it to. I'm not really too concerned about it. Here, show aura missing. It says show and clone settings aura missing. Display. Yeah, I'm not sure how it works for like if you don't have an aspect up. That's the one part about it. Oh, you can see here though, it does have hawk. Let's see if we can change. Init player buff, trigger condition. This is any triggers. We have 2 triggers. And basically it's looking for any of these. Really, there's, yeah. Active auras. We probably need something that says when aura is, we need to create probably another trigger that says when aura is not found. Right, so these are all when aura is found. So we need to probably create another event. But anyways, I'm not going to do that right now, but we need to create a trigger where the aura is not found and then tell it what to do when the aura is not found. So you've been putting on your past live streams and falling asleep. Oh, that's cool, man. But as far as like the lighting and stuff, you have to install, you're going to have to install Reshade. You know, you can go to reshade.me to grab that, right? Just go to reshade.me and just download, you know, just download this version. It's super easy to set up. You know, like if you, I can show you how to do it actually. If you go here, let's see. You know, you would download it, you'd run it, and then you're just gonna pick like, you're gonna pick like the World of Warcraft executable, and the easiest way to do that is just to go to your task manager and look for World of Warcraft and just find out where, you know, where the just go to World of Warcraft and go to open file location, copy that, copy, and then go right back into installation here and just say browse and paste, and there you go. That's the exe. And then you just click next, and you pick whatever filters you want. It's just, it's real straightforward. But yeah, you're gonna have to install that if you want to get the colors to look this good, because like I'm using these filters, so if I turn them off, this is what WoW would look like without Reshade, right? It actually doesn't look too bad, but once I come up here, it's probably gonna look a lot worse. You know, it's gonna look pretty washed out, you know. You can see it's a huge difference. A huge difference. Now, yeah, that's centering the camera. Centering the camera is built into the classic client. That's called Action Cam. So you just want to create a macro for that. I have one here, and you're just going to put in this macro /console action cam full /console action cam no head move /console action cam focus off. Just put those into a macro. And that'll turn on the, and then I also have a macro if I want to go back to the default setting. I don't ever really use that macro, but if I wanted to, and that's just /console action cam default. I hate it when it does this. There we go. So here, this would set it back to the default, and then if I want to use my macro here, action cam, it'll offset it. Again, the reason I never use the macro to turn it off is basically if I really want to turn it off. I mean, all you have to do to get it to feel like it's turned off is to target yourself. Because whenever you target yourself, the action cam doesn't, it's not using the action cam. It doesn't work unless if you're targeting yourself for some reason, which is actually really useful. Because a lot of times when you're going up like winding tower staircases, you know, like you'll notice how when I'm coming down the steps here, it looked all wonky, right? Watch this. Of course, it's not doing it now. It's working now, but it wasn't working before. A lot of times you go up like a winding staircase, the camera will kind of shake. And to fix that, you can just target yourself, and it won't do that. It'll work fine. Hey, what's up, Looney? How's it going? So that's basically just action cam. But, you know, outside of that, you know, recount, you know, classic threat meter. Like I said, I use weak auras for certain things. You know, extended character stats, item rack, you know, target my enemy nameplates. I'm using Kui nameplates because I'm a huge fan of Kui. You know, I'm using mixed scrolling battle text for combat numbers. So, you know, MSBT, you know, you can see here, I've configured the, I'll show you this. Like in combat, you're going to see the my damage scrolling here in this outgoing area, because that's my damage, and you see the damage coming to me in this incoming area to the left, Notifications, like, notice how, like, when I enter combat, it'll show up here in the notification area, right? Furious Howl, combat begins. I've customized that text, so it's really easy to see. Really important to know when combat ends as any class, because when you want to drink, like a dungeon run. So here's the damage he's doing to my pet. Here's the damage me and my pet are doing to him, right? And then I just Holy Strain through Satyr, and then combat ended. Say combat ended. And so I've customized that text so it's really, really easy to see, because like I said, you really want to know when you're in combat, when you're not, because, you know, as a hunter, you can only drop traps when you're out of combat. So some of those things are really important. And then I have triggers, audio triggers that I use. Like, I never really need to look at my character's health ever, because I always know what it is, because I use audio cues. So I have a bunch of them. So let's see, low health. All right. Let's see, low health. Okay, so the first one's going to fire when my health is less than 58 health, which is pretty, that was more for like a hardcore thing, because in hardcore you always want to really keep track of your health. 58's a little bit high, but yeah, if my health drops below 58%, this one's going to trigger, right? So, and that is going to say...
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
So when it says you can kiss your ass goodbye, I know my health is at 58%. Let's see what else. Oh, I actually have one trap failed. That's funny. Oh, I haven't gotten that one to work yet. I always wanted to create one that lets me know when my traps are resisted. I've got one for when my pet's dying, which actually does work. And that's this. So whenever I hear that wolf howl, I know my pet's low on health, which is really, really useful. What else? What else? I guess You Are Screwed doesn't seem to be enabled right now.
You were screwed.
Let me take a look at this one. I might have... Yeah, so this is when my health threshold drops below 43%. So we should probably turn that... I probably turned that... I don't know why I turned that one off, but I did, I guess. And then I had another one, which I don't see currently. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know if it's this one. Anyways, I used to have 3, and I know I still do. But MSBT is a little screwy, so. But yeah, I'd have one that goes off 43%, and then I have one that goes off at like less than 35% health. And what that is it's just a big gasp. She goes, she takes like a big gasp, and I think it says you are dying. But for some reason, it's not showing up in my triggers, which is really weird. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if somehow I hope that, you know, maybe something Blizzard did or reset some of these I don't know. But I'm kind of missing a few of those audio alerts. It kind of makes me want to test that out. Let's go test it out, because I'm kind of wondering what happened to them, because they used to be there. I know they were there last week. All right, so when my health drops below 58%, we should hear an audio.
Lovely. Lovely.
No, there's no crazy coding.
Lovely.
Come on, Scorpion. Here, let me get rid of Monkey so he hits me more. He's still not hitting me. Oh my god. Apparently the Scorpion can't kill me.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Okay, there we go.
Lovely.
Okay, so now I'm really gonna die.
Lovely.
Here, let's... Yeah, so those audio alerts I had are gone, or something happened. Yeah, okay, there's the You're Screwed one. But I used to have one that was like, so that means I'm at 43% health, right? But I used to have one that went off at like 35% health. And I actually want to see if that one somehow triggers, even though I couldn't find it in the list.
Lovely.
Oh, I hit deterrence somehow.
Lovely.
I accidentally did shift wheel down. Now he's really not gonna hit me. Oh man. Oh, let's see. We're at 400 health.
Lovely.
Yeah, it looks like that one's not working.
Lovely. Lovely.
Dodge, dodge. Yeah, because we're definitely at 30%, so. Yeah.
Lovely.
So, whatever. So, yeah, that one's. But anyways, yeah, I use those triggers, and it's interesting. I'm glad that I looked at that because one of them was turned off, and the other one seems to have been deleted, which is really bizarre. And so, other add-ons. You know, obviously, I move these around.
Alone be praised.
The extended character stats is this one here. You can see right here, ECS. This is going to give you a lot more information, and you can customize it. You can go in here and say, I don't want to see like, maybe I don't want to see like mana or something, and you can turn it on or off. You can turn spell on or off. Like I'm not showing spell power as a hunter, not necessarily needed. Yeah, so this is pretty cool. It just gives you a lot of extra information, So that's the extended character stats add-on. And mask is really cool. Mask actually is what makes. Notice how, like these icons. See where my cursor is over here. Notice how, like how the assist macro here. Notice how the icon has a nice dark border around it, and it sees kind of inset almost a little bit. That's mask. It just basically changes the style. I mean, I can change that. Like if I go to bartender, it actually integrates with bartender. If I go to bartender and I go to pretty sure it's in bartender, I think. Actually, no, it's actually in mask, but inside mask, it'll say bartender. If I go to mask, bartender, and I go to bar 1, I can change the skin, right? Let's say I want to go to, I don't know, zoomed or something. See, look how the icons all changed to zoomed in, right? And then if I go to Blizzard Classic, they look like this. But I prefer the mask shadow, which looks like that. I just like it better. It looks especially good on bars that are these other bars that aren't part of the Blizzard art bar. So that's mask. Like I said, move any just allows me to move any window anywhere I want, which is great. I can even resize windows, right? If I want to. You can also change the opacity of certain windows. So, like if you go to move any, you could even go in to do something like click on the player frame here, and I could actually change the alpha of the player frame if I wanted to make it, like I can change it so like in combat it shows up, but out of combat it doesn't, So that's really, really cool. Very hard to find add-ons that allow you to change the default player frame. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, mask is cool. And then, like I said, I use the simple class portraits, which shows the hunter icon here. Really good for PvP. Threat Classic. What's training is really good. Like weak auras, we already talked about weak auras. Nova world buffs is just alerts for world buffs when they're gonna come out. Mixed scrolling battle text we talked about. Leatrix maps is just the maps, Leatrix max, you can just do stuff like move it around. You can scale it, and of course it has some filters up here where you can filter. So Leatrix maps are cool. You can easily turn Questy on and off. I don't know if that's on the default map or not. It probably is anyway. And we talked about, item rack allows me to configure different weapon sets, which is really useful. That's most of the add-ons. There was one other. The ID tip just shows the icons, like the spell ID here and the icon ID, which is really useful for weak aura. Like in weak auras, a lot of times I want to do stuff by IDs instead of by name. Class icons. There was one other one I wanted to talk about. Oh, sexy map. Yeah, there's sexy map, which makes my map look different. Which is really cool, right? And so sexy map, it changes the look of my mini map. It doesn't look good here because we got a black map because we're down in this building. So it makes the map a lot cooler looking, and also like most of the buttons I can turn off, like the show day night indicator, never, like show map button, never, you know, show tracking button only on hover, show zooms in and out buttons, never, and then coordinates, like I've changed the position of the coordinates and the clock, so right, so like if you look at the mini map now, the only icon on it is my mail icon, but if I hover over it, you're going to see what I'm tracking, you know, what am I tracking, you're going to see my item rack, and you're going to see my mask, and then you don't see the zone text unless I hover over it. I hide the zone text, and then all you see is the coordinates. So if I want to see the clock, I just hover over it, and there's the clock. So I try to keep the UI minimalistic. You know, I don't want to see a lot of shit on the screen. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. And then I think there was one other add-on I wanted to mention. Oh, the What's Training, which is really good. So the What's Training is this little button down here. You know, what can I train? This just shows what abilities are available right now, and it shows what availables I can train at different levels, which is, you know, it's really good. A lot of times you'll hit like a level, you know, you can train something, but it's like, do I really want to stop what I'm doing to go train? Is it really that important? And a lot of times you don't necessarily need to. You know, for me, I'm a melee hunter. I don't really hardly ever use volley. You know, do I really need to go train Dragonkin? Do I need to? Now, for me, like when I hit 50, I would want to train because I use Serpent Sting on my pulls, so I definitely would go train for that. You know, level 52 Arcane Shot, I don't use it at all. Menpet, we do use it. Scorpid Sting, probably hardly ever use it. You know, I do allow the hunter to use stings as a melee hunter, but I don't allow the hunter to use any of the other shots. I try to not ever use auto shot. I don't use concussive shot unless I'm in maybe a PvP scenario or something and I just don't want to die, you know. It's called Move Any. Yeah, Move Any. There's used to be an add-on called Move Anything, but the Move Any is actually more powerful than Move Anything, and it works really, really well. So, but yeah, the What's Training is really cool. It also shows pet skills in there as well. Like you'll see like Great Stamina. This is your pet skill. You know, you can learn your pet Great Stamina, Natural Armor. So yeah, good stuff. But I think what we're gonna do is, well, we need to clean out my inventory because it's a disaster. You can see I'm an alchemist, so I've crafted lots of frost oils. I've crafted elixirs of agilities. I got the Rumsy Rum Darks from fishing. I crafted elixir of fortitude. I crafted the free action potion, swimsuit potion. I crafted all of these. The winter fall firewater I bought off the auction house, and all this stuff I crafted. Yesterday I farmed a lot of flame sacks, so we've got 26 dragon breath chili. It takes a while to farm the flame sacks. I bought a few off the auction house as well. But one thing as a melee hunter, you definitely want to buff yourself. You know, yeah, you definitely want to be getting as many buffs as you can. I mean, you should do that for any class, but some classes can get away with doing good damage without really like using all the tools at their disposal. But melee hunter is not one of those classes. You need to really, I don't want to say min-max, but you just want to get buffs. You want to be able to get certain buffs that are really going to help your damage. So. Let me go back to. Let's go back to here.
Great to meet you.
I could have just hearth, but I want to save my hearth. Yeah, I like alchemy. I mean, leatherworking is cool. I love dragon scale leatherworking because it's just kind of nice to be able to craft yourself some decent blue gear. And actually, some of the blue gear for melee hunter isn't that bad because you are getting pretty good armor on some of those items. And the spirit's not bad either. You know, health regen and mana regen as a melee is not bad, but yeah, I hate Twitch. I've thought about it. To be honest, I thought about it, Valst, but Kick is kind of, I don't think a lot of people even use Kick? I know some people do. I thought about it. I'm lazy. The only reason I don't have more subscribers and stuff is just because I'm lazy. You know what I mean? No, I don't know if it allows, I don't think it allows you to move the cast bar. I use quartz for that. All right. See, so the cast bar here, I use quartz. Quartz allow you to do the target, player cast bar, target cast bar, right? I actually don't use it for the target cast bar, strangely enough, though. For the target cast bar, I'm actually using, and I'm trying to remember what it is. I'm actually using something else. Yeah, because I'm not using quartzes. Shit, what am I using? I thought I... Oh, I just don't use it. Yeah, that's right. I don't use it because Kui has it, right? Like my Kui like my target, my enemy nameplate has the cast bar on it. So I don't need the enemy cast bar. But I do use quartz for the breath meter. And that is actually called, it's a really weird name. It's called, I believe, Mirror. Yeah, see? It's enabled, right? So this, so my feign death and the breath meter actually fall under this mirror bar in quartz. And I've customized these, so they're pretty cool. And so you'll see that. I'll go ahead and feign death and show you what that looks like. Yeah, I definitely don't get a lot of views, and I don't get a lot of subs. I mean, I see a lot of people that stream WoW that, and I don't want to sound like a jerk, but I see a lot of people that stream WoW that don't know the game as well as I do, and they have way more subs and views than I do, and they don't know the game as well as I do. But you know, again, I mean, I'm lazy. You know, I don't. You know, but if I feign death, you can see here's the feign death bar. If I go to kick, all right, I'll look into it. I do have a Twitch channel, I just never use it. Like if you go to Twitch and go to, here, hold on a second. I just never use it. I think I've streamed on Twitch like once. If you go to Twitch,
We all know.
you know, here's my channel. I'm caffeine injected, right? So. But I just don't like Twitch. I don't like Twitch, so. Okay, that's weird. For some reason, my mount got dragged off my bar. Yeah, you do get banned. And that's the other thing, the reason I don't use Twitch is I do stream private servers sometimes. Not a lot, but sometimes. And you get banned for that on Twitch. You can get banned for that anyway. Yeah, Twitch is like, they ban people for everything. So YouTube's a lot more forgiving, I think. I did get demonetized on YouTube, and for like 3 months, they demonetized me, and I didn't have any strikes. I had no copyright strikes against me. They demonetized me just because I had some videos that they said had copyrighted content, but they didn't tell me which. The funny part is they didn't tell me which ones. They just said, you've got some videos that have copyrighted content. Your channel's been demonetized. You need to go through all of your videos and remove anything that doesn't adhere to YouTube's policies. And then like 3 months from now, we will reevaluate your channel. So basically for 3 months, you know, not a big deal because I don't make a lot of money off YouTube. So. Oh, do they? That's cool. Let's see if yeah, no comments. I did my stream on Rusted XP and Cargos, and no comments. That's fine. Oh man. It's hard for me to like, because I get so like when I stream, I get so distracted by people in the chat. Not in a bad way, but you know, I'm pretty personable and I like to talk to people, so it slows down my leveling, you know what I mean? More boomer classic players. I'm not a boomer though. I'm not a baby boomer. It was just a stream, Matt. Yeah, appreciate it though. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, yeah, I know. I struggle with that, you know, because I do talk to chat and stuff, and then my leveling suffers. I'm not good at leveling quickly while talking to people. Never been good at that. Oh, fail. There's the breath. There you can see the. I just did it so you can see the breath bar. That's all. I jumped in the water so you guys could see the breath bar. But yeah, that's how the breath bar looks, and that's utilizing quartz, the mirror bar. Because the reason I like this is I can move the bar around, whereas if you just use the default Blizzard one, you can't move it. So. What is this? I didn't see that we got the imposing pants of spirit.
What can I do for you? Have a good one.
Trying to see when it's going to rain today. Let us take a look. Where's the fucking close? I don't want to click on this. I really didn't want to click on that. You and your damn clothes. There we go. Weird. Maybe I'll get some rain later. Get turtle out. Have you fixed me? Yeah, Turtle Well's implementation of Melee Hunter is poor. It's really poor. I talked about that before. Their aspect of the wolf takes too much mana to cast it. It was like 200 mana or something ridiculous, and Turtle Well is way too much. Because the problem with Turtle Well as a Melee Hunter is they basically, your best aspect as a Melee Hunter is Monkey. Because you don't want to get hit, right? But you want to proc, you know, your Mongoose Bite, right? So after you dodge an attack, right, you can use Mongoose Bite. But it's like, you're going to give me an aspect that makes me use called aspect of the wolf or something, whatever it is. So now I'm losing all the dodge from Mongoose. So basically you're making it harder for me to use all the dodge from Monkey. You're making it harder for me to use Mongoose. All they did, it was like the really lazy way to like try to make melee work. It was like, we're just going to give you an aspect that increases your attack power. Like, what would have been better to do would have been to change aspect of the to Hunter's Mark to basically just apply the ranged attack power as also as melee attack power. Then you don't even have to create a whole new aspect. You've already got one, or you've got a spell anyway. So Hunter's Mark also gives you melee attack power. Then what I would have done is I would have changed. If you wanted to make an aspect of the wolf, what I would have done with it is maybe give yourself more attack power, but I definitely would have given yourself also some dodge as well. I would have called it something like aspect of the tiger. All right, so I think what I would have done is I would have created aspect of the tiger, increase your crit rate, increase your melee crit by 5%, increase your melee attack power by like 100, and increase your dodge by like maybe 3%. Right, like 3%. So, and still in those situations where maybe you're gonna die, or you're really low on health, and you want to try to get some more mitigation, you can go with a monkey, just because you're trying to not get hit. Still, so you want to make monkey still useful for certain situations, but you want to make tiger the go-to, right, for damage, right? And of course, you can't make it take like 200 mana or something to cast it, right? So if I do, let's see. Like if I cast Aspect of the Cheetah, it's 40 mana, but in Eternal WoW, when they created Aspect of the, I think it's called Aspect of the Wolf or something, they made it like 200 mana. And because they don't get you any dodge out of it, you end up swapping aspects between Wolf and Monkey quite frequently, and what happens is you just run out of mana almost instantly. So basically, to prevent that, then you don't swap. And if you don't swap, you lose all your aspects of the monkey dodge, which means you're doing more damage, but you're taking a lot more damage. So it's just really stupid. Really, really stupid. Yeah, they should come up with something that, like I said, gives you benefits, but also you still have some dodge as well. I mean, you could either get all the dodge from monkey if you wanted to be lazy, or what I would do is give you some dodge maybe. So there's like so you have like a little bit of a penalty for using it. It's like, yeah, you do a lot more damage, but you're not going to have quite as much mitigation. That way monkey is still a useful aspect. It's still something in certain situations you would use. Like, what if I want to off-tank a mob in a dungeon? What if I'm going into a dungeon and I want to play the role of off-tank? Like, I'm going to say, I'm going to freeze one mob and I'm going to off-tank the other. And tank, you tank that one, right? Well, then that's when you would use Aspect of the Monkey, right? Because you're not trying to kill the mob. You're just trying to keep them busy until the group kills whatever the tank's on, right? So you have to think about how these things apply to the game, not just how does it apply to your character, right? There has to be a reason, that these things exist. There has to be a role for them. It's all about class identity, right? Well, and I don't like that either. I don't like the fact that they say when you have Aspect of the Wolf or something, like you can't use ranged abilities. I don't like that because, like I said, I think one of the things that's missing as a melee hunter in vanilla is kind of what exists in retail. Like, I hate to say that, but retail has, I think, the best version of a melee hunter out of all the versions of WoW. Because if you play in, for example, Shadowlands, and you go Survival Hunter, and you go with the no ranged weapon, you're basically a melee hunter. You have ranged abilities, but they're not usable by any kind of a melee weapon, right? Like you have Raptor Strike, right? And you have, Mongoose Bite, and then you have a talent that when you use this talent, your Raptor Strike can be used at range, right? So like when I use this as a talent, Aspect of the Hawk or something, or whatever, I can't remember what it's called, then I could like use Raptor Strike from like this distance here. Like I could be standing here and hit this guy with Raptor Strike because of that talent. Now, whether or not I think that should be for melee hunter, I'm not sure, but that's just something that they have. The other thing they have, which is really cool, and one of the greatest abilities in retail that I would love to see, and a lot of people probably maybe wouldn't, but is the Harpoon. I think the Harpoon is fantastic because it's great for PvP. Like, melee hunter sucks for PvP. It's like really bad. But one of the ways to make it good for PvP would be the ability to quickly engage on a target, and then the ability to maybe get away, right? So give hunters in vanilla the disengage that throws you backwards. So basically, I could harpoon in, and then also make traps usable in combat. Okay. Now, these are a lot of changes, but this is what you would have to do to make Melee Hunter not only viable for PvE, but viable for PvP. Because, you'd want to make it good for both. So, make traps usable in combat, give the hunter a harpoon and give the hunter the disengage that throws you backwards. Now you're going to have this beautiful play style of moving in, dropping traps, maybe wing clipping, maybe getting off a couple, big, raptor strikes, and then disengaging out and letting your pet do some damage, or kite maybe a little bit, because you've got wing clip applied, or go the other route, the further route, which is what I would like to see, would be to make serpent sting when you talent. What I would do is in the talent tree, I would make a survival tree. And actually what I would do is I would create another tree, maybe even create another tree called melee. Just create another tree called melee. And in the melee tree, I would have a talent that turns your serpent sting into poison dart, right? So when you're a melee hunter and you use serpent sting, it's usable without a ranged weapon, and it's just a dart that you throw. It's like a poison dart, and it's kind of like what you have in retail. It's like kind of the same damage and everything, but it doesn't require a melee weapon, a ranged weapon. It's just a dart. It's a poison dart. That's what I would do. So there's a lot of different changes, but it wouldn't be difficult to basically make a version of melee hunter that I think would be probably one of the most. I think it would be one of the funnest classes to play in all of Vanilla WoW. Because to me, the way rangers, and I don't say hunter, I say ranger. To me, the way a ranger class should work in an MMO is it should have an in-out. That's what she said. It should have an in-out playstyle, meaning you should be able to move in, do damage with melee, and you should be able to move out and still be used to doing some damage at range. Now, if you're the melee version of the hunter, you have to have some sort of abilities at range that aren't like really ranged abilities per se. I mean, they're like I said, poison dart. So I guess some people say, well, that's not a melee hunter because it's not melee, but to me, melee hunter just means you're not standing back shooting arrows all day long. To me, you know what I mean? That's what I don't want to play a class where I just stand back pressing a couple buttons because it's boring. But so I still like the idea of having a couple of ranged attacks because it just makes sense. And for PvP, I mean, how can you be a viable PvP character as a melee hunter if you can never do damage at range, right? If that's the case and you can only do damage melee, everybody's going to kite you. You'll never kill a mage. You'll never kill a warlock. You'll never kill a shadow priest because they're just going to fear you and you're never going to get to them. How are you going to do damage? You're going to hope that your pet kills them? So it just isn't logical that a melee hunter wouldn't have some sort of ability, some sort of way to do damage at range. I mean, it could be explosive bombs or whatever. Like in retail, survival hunters have the ability to throw, like explosive bombs. So, and again, I think that's, to me, that's good. You could pull like some bomb out of your pocket and throw it at somebody. It's why not? So yeah, guerrilla tactics, like you said. So, but to make melee hunter viable for PvE and PvP, there would have to be I think there would have to be substantial changes. We can still do what I'm doing and make melee hunter work. I can still out DPS people. I ran ZF yesterday and I was top DPS in the run. I did more DPS than the rogue. I did more DPS than the mage, and they were the same level as me. It wasn't like I was out higher level than them or anything. I was 48 and there was a 48, I think there was a 48 rogue and like a 47 mage, and so you can still, do good damage, but once you get to raids, that's going to disappear because pets just aren't that, they don't do very well in raids. There's too much, it's too much AoE damage. It's difficult to manage your pet. He's going to die. He's not tanky enough. And then also, as a melee hunter, a substantial amount of your damage in vanilla comes from your traps. And once you get into a raid scenario, it's very difficult to, a lot of your traps. I don't know if I haven't done it because I haven't done a lot of raids with melee hunter, but I'm assuming a lot of traps probably would get resisted because these mobs are like high level elites. So I'm going to imagine a lot of your traps are going to get resisted, and there goes your damage. And then also a lot of your traps might be difficult to place based on encounter difficulties. And then of course so taking away, losing a lot of your trap damage, and then losing a lot of your pet damage because your pet's dying or having to move out of stand in the fire mechanics or whatever. Then you're losing damage there. So your overall damage is going to suffer like a ton. So yeah, I mean, like if you look at like Ion's a good example of a ranger. Like in Ion, you have a class called a scout, which can transition into, I believe, an assassin or I believe a ranger. But even if you transition into like an assassin, you still have the ability to do damage at range. And if you transition into like the ranger, you still have an ability to do damage up close, which is what I think is the best iteration, the best way to play a hunter class is that you should be able to do damage up close. You should be able to do damage up far. I don't care if you're melee, I don't care if you're ranged. It should be viable for both. For the sheer Simple reason that it's more fun that way. And the end goal of the game, of any game, is to be fun, right? You know, and that's the goal, is to make the game fun, and it's just more fun when you have more options. And it's also more PvP viable when you're not limited to a certain thing, because if you're limited to a certain thing, you're going to get locked out of that one thing that you're good at. An example of that would be like a shaman, for example. You know, maybe a shaman, like a shadow priest is a good example. Like at a shadow priest, if I start to cast like Mind Blast or something and I get locked out, I get interrupted and I'm locked out, I can't cast a lot of my abilities. So a lot of my damaging abilities are done. I can't do anything. So that's kind of a bad thing, right? So it's very easy in a way to lock out a shadow priest damage. Of course, we all know shadow priests are pretty damn powerful, but anyways, just food for thought, right? Food for thought. Yeah, Aragorn's a good example. Yep.
Lovely. Lovely.
All right, guys, I think I'm going to take a break because I got to check on my wife. And I got to check on my wife, see how she's doing, make sure she's okay, make sure she doesn't need anything. And then I might make something to eat because I haven't eaten anything today other than one cookie and one little bite of some scrambled eggs. Although I did have a Mountain Dew and a Coca-Cola, which is probably not good. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good Saturday. I'll probably stream later tonight, you know, like tonight. I want to spend some time with the wife of Tori, and but like later tonight, maybe I'll probably stream, probably pretty late. Maybe I'll get on at like 8 p.m. or something, but we got to get to level 50 today, hopefully. And yeah, if we can get to 50, we only got 10 more levels to go. I hope you guys have a good time, a good day, good Saturday, and I will catch you next time. Peace out.